We can't get to the climbing gym at the moment, it's closed. We don't have a car, so we can't go and do any real nice bouldering in Dartmoor. But what we can do is go down to the city centre and do some urban bouldering, and it's a lovely sunny day. So we found this old bridge. It looks like somebody's at least done it before. There's a few routes on 27 crags. Well, hopefully there's nobody else there doing what we're doing because it's a bit weird. It's a big enough space that if there was another little pair of people or person there, we can still keep away from each other. I don't have any expectations about what it's going to be like because I've no idea. Let's see. It's just nice to at least get outside, and even just walk into town, get out of the house is nice right now. Let's go!
Trying to keep 2 meters distance from anyone who we come across. Looking forward to climbing. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Got my shoes on, gonna give my first go at a problem. There is no topos on the internet, there's no information about what the routes are, if anyone's climbed them or anything like that, so I'm just going to jump on and sort of freestyle this and just make it up. I really enjoyed the first climb. I was kind of torn between trying to do something challenging and trying to do something that I was confident I would finish. So that first wall, there was a lot of easy big holds out to the right and some really small crimpier holds for the left hand and smaller feet. I feel like I definitely relied a lot more on that right hand side, and my left hand came through and across to make use of that. And also it was really tempting to take my feet and get them onto those secure ledges. Take the easy route first. Had a few different climbs of this same section of wall and made it a little bit more difficult for myself each time. But yeah, I really enjoyed that first bit, and the satisfaction of sort of topping out and that relief is quite nice. It was made a little bit sort of saltier, a little bit spicier by the fact that there was like broken glass on that bridge that you top out onto. So you had to be careful about where you could place your hands and really think about it, that you wouldn't cut your fingers or whatever. So.
When we got there and we'd kind of spent a few minutes surveying our environment and settling in, I wasn't 100% sure that I was actually going to do any climbing. In advance, I was definitely like, I'm well up for climbing this bridge. And then when we got there, and it perhaps wasn't exactly what I expected, and then even after watching you do it a couple of times, I wasn't sure then that I was actually going to climb. And then I don't know why I changed my mind, but I decided, you know, maybe I didn't want to waste the opportunity, or I mean, it did look like fun. And I took a very easy option because the nature of the bridge means that like there's hundreds of different options for holds and sequences. So I took one of the easiest choices in that specific area, which helped me feel a bit more secure about what I was doing, because I was very anxious about the idea of falling with it being muddy and there being, you know, some glass and that on the floor. And yeah, I felt really pleased with myself afterwards.
And I'll go up it one last time, maybe trying to stay closer to the stick on the wall more, making it a bit more challenging. It was really difficult to know how difficult the routes were going to be because we didn't have any like topos on the internet. We knew there was a crag there from 27 crags, but nobody put any photos, any diagrams or any instructions of what to climb and how difficult it was. So it was as fun as I expected. Like, I had a really good time. So at this point I think I'll come round.
Yeah.
Can't see what I'm doing with my feet.
Your right foot's really good.
I know, I can't see where I'm putting my left.
Yeah. You've got a nice little... Oh, there we go.
It's just more secure.
Yeah.
Once I'm at that point, I just want to come round where it's safe.
Got a nice bum shot here.
Bum shot.
And those juicy orange shorts.
I found it difficult to know how hard I should push myself. There were a couple of routes I tried that I found very difficult, but that I didn't give a second attempt on. Oh, there. Okay. I'll try that. So it felt very similar to bouldering on natural crags, natural outdoor bouldering spots, so in Yosemite and in Gliese in Germany. It was a bit scarier and it was a bit more difficult than bouldering indoors, where you know exactly where you're going to put your hands. So I feel like it had a lot of the same challenges, urban bouldering and bouldering on a natural outdoor crag bouldering area. It was really nice getting the top out. Like, you don't really get a chance to do top outs in the bouldering gyms that we go to regularly, so that was nice.
After doing the first climb, once again I was a little bit thinking, maybe I'm done now. I've done one climb, that's enough. I didn't waste my time coming here. I've achieved something. It's okay to not do any more. I really like the wall, like it looks really nice, but it's just a shame that like there's quite a lot of glass around and I just feel a bit uncomfortable about that.
We're not going very high up, but I think we're a little bit out of our own comfort zone.
I want to have a see if I can even hold on to this wall to traverse it.
So yeah, maybe do a quick bit of easy traversing, see if we get our mojo back.
I don't think it looks easy traversing, I think it looks really hard traversing.
Yeah, well maybe if you keep your hands on that top, if we keep the top in, it might be. But I mean easy in terms of it's not as scary.
Yeah, but there's less glass on the top here.
Yeah.
I then got really into traversing. I really enjoyed that. That's something I like to do in general in different environments. I love traversing because I really like being able to focus on the physical aspect of the climbing without having my anxiety take over. And that's often definitely a limiting factor for me when I'm trying to push myself in bouldering and in route climbing. This is definitely more fun. I get so afraid of being higher up and falling, and some people might think that's ridiculous. In bouldering wall you're only like a metre off the floor, but nonetheless I get anxious and I lose that like flow state of just being in the climbing and just thinking about the next hold and the way that you move in your body, and I just get taken out of that by the fear. And so when I'm traversing I don't have that fear. I can focus on pushing myself physically and I find that really enjoyable. I think that counts as finishing it. My hands feel pretty raw, just the last section, it's really rough. My little pinkies. I'm holding myself in a lot, so my arms are quite tired, but it's a good little workout. I enjoyed it.
We've made the conscious decision today to not use any chalk, just in case we upset anyone.
You don't need chalk when it's this cold.
Yeah,
You know, we're not doing really intense sessions where we're getting sweaty. We're just having a bit of fun. So.
Yeah, we're kind of used to sweating it up inside the gyms, aren't we? You know, I'm actually getting quite pumped holding the audio recorder in my my brew, doing all these traversing things. It's challenging my endurance. Looking back at this footage now on lockdown, I am feeling quite mournful of the days that we could go out and climb. We mostly go to gyms where the routes are really quite straightforward, or at least they're straightforward to see what is needed to be done. You can see exactly where the holds are. There's more choice on a wall like this, and that has its own challenges. I don't think I climbed anything that was at the absolute limit of my physical ability, but it did offer a fresh challenge having to problem solve when there are these multiple options and not really having that skill and that experience in knowing what's going to be the easiest route up this wall, but having to kind of make assumptions and work it out as I went. But I did really enjoy that.
And then I wasn't sure that I'd do any more vertical climbs, but I did, and it felt great afterwards. Yeah, so I did the second vertical ascent that I did actually went fine on my second attempt of it. I think my first attempt I couldn't figure out where to place my hands, and then second attempt was really comfortable, really enjoyable. And it was actually fun whilst I did it as well, although a little bit scary. And then Sam suggested I do it again to get a different shot, and I thought, yeah, sure, it was fun, and I liked it. I can remember the sequence of the start bit, which was confusing me on the first attempt. And then on the second attempt, the second half of the route where you're higher up, I completely freaked out because I couldn't remember exactly. There's so many choices for your hands. I couldn't remember exactly where I'd put my hands the first time, where I'd felt really secure. And so then I suddenly felt less secure and had a bit of a panic. But it was fine and I got through it. And even if I had fallen off, I would have been fine. I just felt good at the end of the session. Like, it was a really beautiful day. The sun was just coming low in the skies. We were winding up, and it suddenly felt like, oh, this was a beautiful experience. Nice little afternoon out, doing something different. Right in the city centre of Exeter, there is still bouldering to be done.
If you want to watch some of our other videos, then you'll see some suggested content when we stop talking. Okay? See you in the next one.
Was it what you expected?
In some ways it was how I expected, in other ways it was pretty different. I would go urban bouldering again. Now that we're filming this section and we're editing this all together, I don't think I'd go urban bouldering during the lockdown, during the coronavirus, because with the increased social distancing measures and people being encouraged to stay in the house, we're getting hold of a hangboard and we're going to start using that to train our forearms and our fingers rather than relying on actual climbing. We're going to miss it. But then, yeah, as soon as these measures are sort of lifted and relaxed, I can't wait to go out, do a bit more urban bouldering, get out to Dartmoor and boulder there. The weather's been improving loads, so I'm really excited to get out and boulder on proper boulders, on proper rocks. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, and show us some love, leave some comments, and give us a nice little stroke of the ego. That would be lovely.